market breakdown, coronavirus. There we are. We're live on YouTube. Guys, pandemonium. The market circuit breakers have been hit, but we're back open to see what's what's going to happen for the rest of the day here. So let me see if I can bring over some streaming charts as we watch this thing play out live. Trading is still halted on certain stocks, which is crazy. So I'm just curious. Oh my goodness. If you don't have put options right now, literally, I mean, I don't know what to tell you if you don't have put options right now. It is the best time to be short and stuff. Let me see if I can share my screen, share what I'm talking about. Boom. Look at what is happening right now. If you look at the cruise lines, murdered, down 1055. I mean, everything is just down. Boeing is getting slapped, down $32. Boeing was a stock. Let me see if I can pull up the chart. Boeing was literally and figuratively, Boeing was just trading around, if you go right here to about January, Boeing was trading at $340. It is crazy to believe that Boeing is down to 156, a 200-point drop right now. Just ridiculous. So here's the thing. Soapbox Jones says, what should I tell my Fidelity got to do with my 401k? Dude, the problem with 401ks right now, and I feel for anyone who has a 401k, I was just talking to someone about this. That person shall remain nameless. The problem with 401ks right now is if you're not in a self-directed IRA, you cannot buy put options or sell call options against your position, which actually sucks. Okay, it sucks. If you have a 401k, you cannot buy put options or sell options against your position. You basically are stuck and you're just waiting to see what happens. Literally, you're just stuck and waiting to see what happens. I'm gonna go live on Instagram as well, so bear with me. We're just gonna go live on all the platforms except for Facebook. But we're live on Instagram. We're live on YouTube. So let me see here. So Cassandra asked, is it too late to get put options? It is not too late to get put options. I think we see more pandemonium in this market. You got to think, we're just now seeing colleges close, right? So we're just now seeing colleges close. We haven't even gotten to elementary and K through 12 closing yet, in which parents may have to stay home. So I don't think we've seen the peak of this virus and the peak of what it can do. And so I don't think it's too late to buy put options, because I think we're still going to see more school closures, but K through 12, elementary, and then what's going to happen when the parents have to stay home. And then we haven't really made our way through factories yet. So if someone in the NBA contracted the virus, they shut down the NBA. We haven't necessarily seen, somebody at GM, somebody at Ford, someone at one of these major factories catch the virus yet. And I mean, you hope they don't, but at the way that it's spreading and we can't contain it, and we don't necessarily have enough kits to test it, it's kind of a foregone conclusion that it's probably spreading faster and farther than we can get in front of it, which simply also means who knows if some kids have it, hit some nursing homes, et cetera yet. So if you got colleges and stuff closing down, I think it's only a matter of time before you see schools closing as well. And I think from a trading perspective, I think you still got time to buy put options. Literally almost on anything. For the most part, I know we covered this with our members last night in our members only section, but anything travel related hit. Anything concert, um, you know, large gathering related hit. Cruise lines still taking the beating. Okay. Um, so anything large gathering, cruise lines, etc., taking a hit. Travel obviously is going to be a nice opportunity to short there, and then who knows? I think Disney's going to be next for a really good short, and the reason I think Disney's going to be next for a good short, they haven't announced shutting down theme parks yet, but I think that's what's next. I think theme parks are next to come from a short perspective, and you figure with the NBA shutting down, I think Disney owns ESPN if I'm not mistaken. And so they're losing revenue from not being able to show the basketball games. And then next thing you know, if we shut down the theme park, that's just one more thing that taps the revenue from these, these Disneys of the world. So um man, our LYVN trade is beast mode right now. All right, let me see here. We streaming on Instagram. Let me see here. What? Um, Ashanti said, "What about grocery stores?" I wouldn't be short in grocery stores. Grocery stores actually should be doing really well right now. So I'll share my screen. We'll look at a couple of ideas. If you're watching over here, if you want to see the screen shares, tune in to YouTube here. But let me see here. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Multiple screens working, all kind of stuff going on. So bear with me. But I think grocery stores. I wouldn't necessarily short grocery store. I think those people are going to be doing really well. Costco, Walmart, because people are just panicking, buying toilet paper, all that stuff. Is trading halted again? Oh my goodness, guys, hold on. I think we might be. No, we're not. We're not halted again yet, but um, I wouldn't be surprised if we get halted. And any bounce today, I think you got to short any bounce. I really do. Anything that's bouncing today, I think you got to short it. I'm not a believer in this market. I'm not a believer in any type of a bounce right now because it's going to be short lived. It's going to be short lived. You saw what happened to Visa. You saw what happened to Boeing. We got a little bit of a bounce, and then they just got smacked. They just got met with a ton of selling, and so I I would be a shorter in any bounce. What does that mean? I'd be buying put options into any bounce. I'm gonna share my screen with you in 1 second. I'm actually looking to. I got to handle some stuff in my own account for a second. So one moment here. 320.45 strike price put. I think it's just a time to be in put options, period. You gotta be. If you're not in put options, I don't know what you're doing if you're not in put options right now. It's just dire right now. So type your questions into the box. And let's see if we can't get through this life together because it's pandemonium right now. That's my favorite word. That's my word of the day. It's pandemonium. And I think it's only going to get, dare I say the word, worse? Dare I say it? I think it's only going to get worse, ladies and gentlemen. Not because we're negative, but because, again, we have yet for it to hit schools. We have yet for it to hit, like the K through 12 kind of industry. Look at EMPH making a nice little turnaround rally, though, which is a stock I really like, but I don't like it right now. All right. Cassandra said LY. Oh, LYV. You know, I don't think it's too late. I really don't. Um, I don't think it's too late to short anything. I don't really believe in anything that's gonna bounce right here, right now. I think anything that bounces is gonna get met with selling. So no. In fact, here, let me turn my screen around and hold on. Let me minimize this. Let me turn my screen around and just show some stuff that were it's very tough to do this. All right, here we go. Let me share. You can see right here. Oh, you can see we're getting a bounce like right here on the intraday. I think that's totally gonna get met with selling. I think that's totally gonna get met with selling. You can look at any of them. RCL, this little bit of a bounce, totally gonna get met with selling, right? Who wants to be long cruise ships right now? Visa, this bounce gonna get met with selling. EMPH, I love the company bouncing. I like to have them long term, but right now, oh shoot, this isn't turned around. I like the company, but long term, I love it. But right now, I think you got to just take advantage of the shorts. Carnival Cruise, you got a little bit of a bounce. I think it's just going to get met with selling. Home builders, we got a little bit of a bounce. Oh, it says trading halted on home builders. Let's see, where are we at? No, the market's still open, but certain stuff is being halted. So I think you got to take advantage of. I think you got to take advantage of the panic and of the fear, and I think you can get away with put options right now. I really do. Let me see what questions do we have over here? It's crazy trying to trade, live stream, and share your screen all at like all at like once. Um, so it's kind of crazy here, but it can be done. It can be done. We're doing some of it, and man, what a time to be alive. What a time to be a trader. What a time to own put options, or at least have the ability to buy put options. Trading halted again, I think. Is that right? Are the markets okay? On my screen is saying trading is halted. At least on a few stocks. But then they allow them to start trading again, which is very interesting. All right, let's bring in the tubes and see what we got here. Um, Here, how do we turn this around? There we go. All right, let's see here. Gianna, how do I place a short trade? So Gianna, you need to be approved to trade options. If you're not approved to trade options, um, typically you want to put options is what you can use to stop the bleeding right now. But if you're not approved, it's kind of tough to get approved to trade options right here in the middle, in the thick of all of this going on. Uh, First name, last name. Do brokers really let you short in such a situation? Number one, if you got enough money, they allow you to short. And then number two, even if you don't have enough money, as long as you're approved for options, you can short by using put options. So you can buy and sell puts on the way down. Um, and so, yes, you technically are allowed to short. I'm looking at an option chain for LYV. What's the delta I'm looking for again? Does that matter? All right. So in this situation, you just want to make sure you're dealing with something with at least 1,000 contracts All right, 1,000 contracts is what you want to be looking at, because the delta doesn't matter. Oh, well, it does matter. You want it to be at least a point 0.7 or above, but the fact that the market is, you want to have liquidity to be able to get in and get out of the position. You think the market will open up again? It for sure will open up again. Once the circuit breakers are in stages. So when the circuit breakers hit, here, let me see if we can Google circuit breaker rule. That way we can just cover it together. So here, I'll share my screen and we'll cover the circuit breaker rule together. All right, so the circuit breaker rule states, let me make it big here. The circuit breaker rule just states that trading gets halted at 3 different levels. So down 7%, down 13%, and then down 20%. So we've only hit the first level, down 7%. I'm looking at the screen. The Dow is down about 8% right now. So we have a little bit ways to go if we were to fall to 13%. But at 13%, the market would halt trading again. So we're not there yet. I don't know if we'll get there today. We'll see. But we're not there yet, but it's possible that we can get there. On IG, the real soapbox says, I think it's just a financial tool to launder money. I don't know if you mean just the market overall or what. It's just a tool to launder money. I'm not sure what you meant by that. But all right, let's see here. Do you think the market will open up again? So I already answered that. Some med tech companies doubled within days but dropped back down. So it's really more emotion based and fundamentals rather than mostly fundamental. Yeah, there's a lot of emotion going on right now. I think if you're going to short something, you got to short what's practical, right? So airlines, for sure, they're losing money on ticket sales and travel. Hotels, no one's traveling. Events or concerts definitely being canceled. Cruise lines, who wants to get locked up in the ship? And then if you're locked up in the ship, you don't even know if you're going to be able to come back home, right? So those are more practical companies to short versus trying to go out and pick the next biotech company that you think is going to have a cure for coronavirus. That's more of a crapshoot, right? It's like, oh, this company's making progress on the vaccine. Okay, then the next day they're not making progress, or like how long before we figure out who has the cure? So I think that's more of a crapshoot, trying to figure out who's gonna have the fix for the virus. So that's, in my opinion, that's definitely not a smart. That's definitely not a smart way to trade. So with those measures, I definitely wouldn't be I wouldn't be quote unquote, I guess, trading that. All right, let me see here. Okay, this is trading is not halted anymore, but what are the options going for? What? Dude, the options are crazy. Home builders, there's certain things I'm just looking at. I don't even see it moving at all. Let me share my screen. This is kind of, I don't know if it's not moving because the market is just still trying to dissect everything or what. But let me share my screen here. Let's bring this in. Okay. My IG people, come check me out on YouTube, because this is crazy trying to manage a phone and a stream. So come check me out on YouTube. We're live streaming. You get to see the screen, everything. Go look up the Brown Report. All right. Here, let me share my screen here. And what I'm looking at, it seems like nothing's moving. Like if you look at LYV, like nothing's moving here. If you look at XHB, this is where the market was halted. But like it's not even moving, it's frozen. But the cruise lines are still kind of selling off a little bit. Here, let's take CCL and move it over next to. So those two are kind of still selling off. I mean, everything's down for the day. I'd be surprised if we see some type of rebound. I really would be surprised if we see any type of rebound. I mean, who wants to come in and buy this gap? Who wants to come in and buy this back up on Visa? Who wants to come in and put their money to work right here? Like, oh, it's a great time to buy cruises. They're cheap. Like only non-smart traders think like that right now. Who wants to come in here and be like, oh, just kidding. Concerts and stuff are going to be back on. Like, I think this is just a false bounce. I do. I think that's a false bounce. These aren't giving a false bounce. Cruise lines are still holding. Visa's still holding. What else? Let's pull up some airlines. Let's do American Airlines. Big gap. They're only down $2. Let's go Delta. Down $5. A bigger drop. So with American Airlines already being at like kind of cheap, right? It's only $11, $14 stock. The stock that's going to have a bigger opportunity to fall more is something like Delta, because at 11, it's like, well, how far can it go? Is it going to go down to 5? Whereas a $36 stock can definitely fall lower to 20, you know. Give me 1 second. I need to. So hopefully that makes sense. So what are you guys? How are you guys feeling about your accounts, your trade? Because what's interesting is if you, up until this point, if you haven't been, I guess if you haven't been preparing for this moment, then you're kind of like, I don't know, man. Like, if you haven't been preparing for this moment, meaning like you haven't been learning how to trade options, learning how to trade puts, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but it's a sad moment, so to speak, because it's tough to do much right now in the thick of it if you're not approved or you don't know what to buy. Cassandra says, can't even afford these options right now. Yeah, they're probably more expensive because everything is tanking to the downside, right? So the prices are going to be a little bit more expensive. But what you could do, I'm not saying you should do this, but I'm saying what you could do is you can shorten the time frame and look for options that expire Friday that might be more cheaper. The only problem with that is if you're at work or working a job, this is a market where literally you kind of need to be in front of the computer and see what's going on right now. Like, it's tough to just place a trade, walk away, unless you're going to be buying more time, a week, 30 days. But oil, travel stocks, they're all falling, and they're falling hard. Terry inside of our group coaching program. I got my group coaching screen up too in case our members ask questions, which will go more in depth inside the community, but said this coaching will pay for itself in time. No doubt. We talked about shorting some of this stuff yesterday, and today it's basically pandemonium. All right. Let's see here. At least back they were. I was guessing people were thinking they went going to a fortune. Don't get any material workers either. LYV is moving for me on trading view. I think it's back moving for me too now. I just need to see it tank. It kind of rebounded a little bit, which I'm not too concerned about. I think a lot of these things might do a little bit of a rebound, and then the reality is going to set back in that now it's definitely not a time to be a buyer. And I think you just got to trust your gut, trust your trades, or do nothing and sit on the sidelines. I'm still trading my regular market open strategy. Turns out opportunities for it are harder to come along in this kind of situation, but also got a huge potential. Trading at the open is tough because everything's going to be inflated at the open. So, yeah, I don't know that I'd be trading the morning rotation like that. My 4 option expires tomorrow and it just dropped below the break even price. So I would be feeling good if trading wasn't halted. What kind of forward option do you got? Do you got put options on forward? Because we can bring that up here and take a look at it together. Let's see here. If we were to look at forward, oh wow! I hope you got put options on forward. Look at forward. It gapped down from 6 down to 522. I don't see the, first of all, the auto industry is just in horrible shape anyway, especially like Ford. If you're not creating electric vehicles, I definitely wouldn't have my money on the auto industry. And then you can just see Ford just continues to go from 10 down to $5. I mean, it lost 50% of its market cap in just, a few months here. So if you're shorting Ford, I think you're doing okay. I wouldn't be a believer in Ford at this point. Matter of fact, that's probably a good time for us to take a look at. Let's take a look at Tesla then. So Tesla is, they're down, but in my opinion, this is like your opportunity. So if you've been thinking about Tesla, if you've been thinking about, you missed this run up here at Tesla at 960 level, this sell off, it's just been, I think a buying opportunity. Not necessarily yet, because it could get worse, but electric cars are still the future. Tesla's still the market leader when it comes to electric vehicles. And so for that reason, this virus stuff will end at some point. And then once it does, it's not like, oh, we're not creating electric cars anymore. Oh, we're not moving towards that genre. So I still like Tesla. If things shake out right and I can snatch up enough money from these stocks falling, I'll probably then take that money and then roll it over into some long-term stock or long-term options of Tesla, because you got to look at this a year, 2 years out. Electric vehicles are still the way that we're heading. Tesla's still a market leader in that space, and everybody else is trying to play catch up. In fact, before coronavirus, you had a Tesla almost at 1,000. So if you take the coronavirus out, what's to stop it from returning to 1,000, knowing that electric vehicles are the future? So let's move this over here. All right, so that's my thoughts on Tesla. Is it Cassandra says, I think I will sit this one out, but keep a close eye on EMPH and get back on that money train. Yeah, that was a stock that did well for us. Very well for us. Yeah, here's the thing too. Let me bring my face back up, I guess. Here's the thing, guys. Don't do anything that you shouldn't be doing, anything that you are not comfortable doing, and you also shouldn't be doing anything that you don't understand what you're doing. All right. If you own stock, you can ride this out as long as you don't have to pull it out for retirement. You don't have to do any of that stuff right now. It might take 3-4 years for it to return. I don't know, 5, who knows? But if you own stock, you're not racing against time if you own stock. But if you want to stop the bleeding, I think, you could buy a put option and lock in your portfolio. But if you don't understand what that is or what that means, then you definitely shouldn't be doing anything where you don't understand the strategy. You don't understand how it works. You don't understand, how to manage it. What's a in the money put, out of the money? What's a strike price? What's an expiration date? If you don't understand any of that stuff, you absolutely should just be sitting it out, because as long as you still have your house, still have your health, you're going to be okay. As long as you still have your job for now, right? You're going to be all right, right? If you think about your retirement account, it's just paper money, at least for right now, right? If you're not planning on using it for 10 years, 20 years, it's just paper money that you've lost, all right? Wendell Morris, what's up, man? Pavan says USO calls July 7th strike. What do you think? I wouldn't be doing anything with call options right now. Let's look up USO here on the screen. Dude, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let's just pull up USO so everybody else can see what we're looking at that you're talking about. Here's the USO. I might have to move my camera because I'm blocking it because it's falling so much. Look at USO. This is a chart of USO, which is what? Oil? Boom. Boom. Shh. Boom. Absolutely not. No call options on oil. This thing is tanking. There's no way I'd be buying really call options on anything right now until we get a handle on the virus, or at least until we get a vaccine. There's no way I'd be going bullish on oil right now. Absolutely no way I'd be going bullish on oil. There's not really much to go bullish on unless you're going bullish on the inverse, unless you're going bullish on the VIX, which is the fear index or volatility index, which measures fear. That's about the only thing I'd be going bullish on, but nothing else. Oil is tanking. Oil has already tanked. The question is, how much further can it go? And like right now, it's like, where are the pockets of the market that you can trade that are next up to tank, right? Oil kind of has already tanked. But what is next up to tank? Why did you buy into USO? What was I didn't buy into USO. Oh, you guys must be talking to each other. Wendell said, I've been killing it with the strategy you showed me in Power Trades University. Good. I mean, I really, there's nothing more important to me than seeing members survive this, not just survive, but thrive, but at least survive this ridiculousness of a sell-off that's happening right now that I think is only going to continue. I do. I think the NBA shutting down was just the first. You got hockey, that playoffs are supposed to start next week. Do they want fans in the stadium? Do what happens if a hockey player? I mean, it's just so much what if. It's right. I've never lived through a pandemic. I guess I have lived through Ebola virus, but I wasn't like watching the stock market or caring. But it's so amazing how the what ifs just spook the hell out of people. And it's also so amazing to see what could happen if the what ifs come true. And when you think about it from a financial standpoint, a lot of it just makes sense. It just makes sense. And the market is forward thinking. The market doesn't say this will be solved someday. It's like, yeah, but for right now, we don't have a vaccine on the horizon. So that's not what they're looking at. They're looking at if it gets worse, not when is it going to get solved. They're looking at how much money are we going to lose and how much is going to get shut down right now until it gets solved. Then when we get a vaccine, the market starts to say, okay, business should return to normal. Even though business hasn't returned to normal, that's when the market starts to say, but it will. Right now, we don't have that, but it will in sight. And so until we do, it's selling pandemonium. And then the Democrats and the Republicans can't agree on a relief bill, which, surprise, surprise, right? This is definitely not a time to be political and try to play those pawns. But you know that these guys are going to do that. They're going to do what this half doesn't want to help Trump. Trump probably doesn't want to agree to something. I read somewhere where like somewhere in the bill they tried to slide in something with regards to abortion or something. It's like, what? What does that have to do with coronavirus right now? And so these guys try to slide in their agendas into these relief tax bill and stuff that they're trying to pass right now, because that's what politicians do, which is just kind of crazy to me how these guys, you know, use this as an opportunity to push their agenda. It's pretty ridiculous, which further lets me know that we'll probably be in the pain clinic for a little while longer. Does that make sense? Because these guys can't even put their own selfish agendas aside for the country, which is just mind blowing. All right. Crypto says buying a call on anything right now is a clown move. I think so, man. I had some stuff where I was like, I'm gonna get call options just because like I was like, it's a good opportunity. I turned around and sold them, took a small loss. I was just like, what am I doing right now? Every time I go bullish, it gets super smacked. It gets smacked down. It gets smacked down. And so I think you just got to stay short. I think you got to stay long and you got to stay short right now in this market. And then we'll see what happens. But there's not much that I would go bullish on right now. I think any bullish reversal, like I said, I would use that to short. Any bullish reversal, I would use it to short or buy puts. Do you have any service that for recommendations to trade? Are you talking about my service or are you talking about like a brokerage account? Like if you're talking about a brokerage account, I use Charles Schwab Street Smart Central. But if you're talking about like my service, you can check it out at powertradesuniversity.com. That's where we go live for our members, and then we do, weekly updates, live 2-hour coaching sessions, the courses, the strategies, all of that stuff is there. Yeah, I just typed the link in there. It's powertradesuniversity.com. You can go check it out there. Crazy. Did Apple announce a new iPhone? I don't know. Did Apple announce a new iPhone? I didn't hear that. I don't know why they would announce a new iPhone right now. No one's going to be, that's the last thing on their mind probably. But let's see. Let me pull up, let's pull up the screen and see. The Apple. So Apple closes all of its Italy stores. So we know for sure that happened. Okay. Should you clean your iPhone? Apple's iPhone hit with supply issues. So I don't think they announced the new iPhone. I think if anything, they closed some stores. You can see that came out, and then much like any company, their supply chain is going to be hit right now. Like no one's supply chain is functioning correctly with things being locked down, things needing to be cleaned before it gets brought into the country. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, but no, I don't see any news of a new iPhone coming out. So here, let me combine all this stuff into one chart, one screen. I got way too many screens open here. Yeah, I love going live talking about this stuff. I mean, it's one thing to record a pre-recorded video, but it's one thing to another thing just to be live and chat um, real time about what's going on in the market. Um, I, when you say back the trucks up, it's definitely a good time to back the. It's been a good time to back the truck up. I just you can't help also but wonder every time you get these sell-offs, like, am I late to the party though? You know, when is the party going to end? I think that's why you got to really think about some of the stuff that you're shorting that probably will be down for a long time to come. Like, Apple is still a good company. I don't know that I would be shorting Apple. I'd be versus waiting for an opportunity to buy. I don't know that I'd be shorting Tesla versus waiting for an opportunity to buy. I don't know that I'd be shorting Amazon versus waiting for an opportunity to buy. So there's companies that it's more like when's an opportunity to buy, and then there's companies that's like it's just a no-brainer. No one's jumping on a cruise ship anytime soon. It's a no-brainer that airports, airplanes are suffering when they can't do their full route. Their international routes are capped, and now you got people who probably just don't want to fly domestically and be locked in an airport or in an airplane in closed corridors. So there's certain things that are, in my opinion, just make sense that are safer to short because they probably won't do well for a while, or anything that has to do with large venues because they're canceling anything to do with large venues. So if they're canceling them, there's no new ticket sales. And then they also might have to refund the current ticket sales. And if they don't know when they can hold large events, how do you sell tickets out into the future when you don't know what dates that you can actually sell tickets for the event? So there's certain things like that I think it just makes sense to short, or when I say short, buy puts on those type of companies. I really do. I think some of that stuff just totally makes sense. I can't see things turning around for them, at least not in the short term, which means we could potentially make some short-term profit. So, man, all right, I'm getting hungry. So I think I'm going to go eat some food. I may come back live stream, especially the closing bell, maybe from 3 to 4 o'clock. Come back live stream. Make sure you hit the bell notification and you're subscribed to the channel so you can get notified when we go live. It's just always interesting talking about this stuff, looking at the market as it happens real time. So stay safe, stay sane, and stay educated if you're not educated on how you can protect yourself from something like this happening. As well as, here's the thing, think about when the market does rebound, what do you need to be in position to take advantage of a big move up? Because when we do get this stuff resolved, we're going to get a springboard to the top. How do you take advantage of that springboard to the top and get flat out paid? Those are going to be questions you want to be asking yourself. And I think right now is the best time to be learning if you're not in the game, because when we return, you'll be prepared. So either way you look at it, this is a great time. I know it may not feel like it if your retirement account or something's losing money, but I think either way you look at it, it's really going to turn out to be a historic time to either buy some stuff, or as right now, I'm being able to short some stuff. So we'll see what happens. I got to get some food in me. I'll see you guys later. Hit the bell notification, subscribe, and we'll be back live later.